Democrat Representative Eugene Vindman, who is the brother of Alexander Vindman, who is one of the stars of the bogus Trump impeachments that I've written about extensively. Let's play cut 5, guys.
Well, first of all, I think we all recognize that the Iranian regime is a authoritarian regime that is suppressing its people. And, I recognize that in my own family experience. We fled from a communist authoritarian regime. And we need to support the Iranian people in their struggle for freedom and independence. They're protesting largely peacefully on the streets, and they're being attacked and murdered. And I think, there's an irony, obviously, in what we see with ICE on America's streets.
You see that? An irony with ICE on America's streets. This is just evidence of one of my refrains that I will make from time to time, that it's been abundantly clear for a long time that the left just hates this country in America, that they're really rooting against the United States of America. There are thousands confirmed that are dead in these Iranian protests, and there are some reports that it could be upwards of 20,000. People are still flooding the streets because they want to see that regime toppled. They don't like the authoritarian nature of it. They don't like the Islamism that's taken over that country that was once on track to be a westernized country within the Middle East and has been completely derailed and has become one of the hellholes on the planet where they don't have water, where their currency is no value. And yet you see this guy comparing it to an ICE agent who shoots someone who was deliberately agitating, possibly paid, driving a 4,000-pound car at him. That's the same as the Islamist authoritarian, undemocratically elected Iranian regime cracking down on peaceful protesters in the street. That's how deranged and lunatic the establishment left is in this country at this time. Remember, Renee Good would be alive if not for those Somali fraudsters and Somali fraud ring. She had deliberately positioned her car in a way that was obstructing with a law enforcement operation. She had her obnoxious lesbian wife taunting her while she was there, smiling, agitating, provoking, obviously trying to cause problems deliberately. And it got out of hand. Now, was the shooting justified? I don't know. I think a jury is going to decide that it is. But I'll tell you that is not remotely close to what's going on in Iran. And to think that the Democrats could see all the peace and prosperity in this country, where we live in a place where we can import, I think there's over 100,000 Somalians in Minnesota. And what percentage of the fraud that's taking place in that state is from these Somalian immigrants that we welcomed in this country? And then you start doing the math. Why was this tolerated? Why was this maybe even encouraged by the Democrat establishment? Because they know that's their voter base. The criminal voter base is animating that party right now. It's driving that party. The energy is with either illegal aliens, fraudsters, small-time crooks. That's who they live for. They hate law and order. The left hates law and order. And for them to see what happened in Minnesota and to compare that to what's happening in Iran, it just reveals so much about them. Really important stuff. All right, that's today's show. Went by super fast, but we got a lot of good stuff for you on the Marlow feed. And I will share with you also Breitbart.com all day, every day for breaking news. That's my baby. Front page editor there for, it's been going on 12, 13 years. I've been tasked with that front page. Enjoy it every day, putting up the fastest, hardest hitting breaking news for all of you, and plus some fresh content for you on the podcast feeds.